Imagine for a moment that you have this really grand vision for a virtual world,
Hmm.
not just some game you play, right?
Yeah.
But an entire persistent online place, exactly how you see it in your head.
Yeah, with your rules, your creature.
Exactly, your economy.
Mhm.
And then you just share it with your friends.
Okay.
This isn't about playing someone else's game, you know? It's about you becoming the architect,
Yeah.
the story killer, maybe even the god of your own little immersive experience.
Built from the ground up.
Built from the ground up, totally tailored to your wildest ideas.
That sounds pretty amazing.
It does. And that's why today we're doing a deep dive into the Black Box Game Engine project.
Okay.
It's this really revolutionary open source framework.
Mhm.
And it's more than just software, it feels like a philosophy.
The philosophy, how so?
Well, it aims to put the power, like the real power, of crafting these rich 2D isometric multiplayer worlds directly into your hands.
Right, okay. And our mission for this deep dive then is to really unpack what Black Box is, and maybe more importantly, why it even exists.
Yeah, the why is key.
We'll look at how it leverages the legacy of games like Ultima Online, which is huge.
Oh, absolutely iconic.
And also the decades of community work from projects like ServUO and Classic UO, you know, all that hard-won knowledge.
Right, decades of it.
But beyond just the tech specs, we want to get into what it really offers you.
Mhm.
Whether you're that aspiring world builder or maybe just a curious modder looking for something new.
Or even just someone who loves the idea,
Sure.
right? An accessible, really customizable online world that you can shape and share easily.
Exactly. So we'll peel back the layers on its goals, what it can do right now, and its pretty exciting future roadmap.
Okay, so let's unpack this clearly. Black Box, it isn't just another game you download and play.
Right. Not at all.
It's fundamentally a toolkit, a framework designed for, well, basically limitless creativity.
Limitless is a big word.
It is. But think about it. Many people listening probably know Ultima Online,
Oh, yeah. Classic.
a game that just blew expectations away and fostered this incredibly vibrant, dedicated community.
Yeah.
Modders, server operators.
Who kept it alive for decades. Still going.
Right. Constantly pushing the boundaries.
Mm.
Black Box takes that exact spirit, that deep desire for user-driven stuff and customization,
Mm-hmm.
and it supercharges it for today, strategically stripping away the old hurdles that often stopped creators before they even started.
And what's fascinating here, it's not just about nostalgia, though you can't ignore the UO influence.
No, definitely not.
Black Box is really this deliberate, forward-thinking effort. It's synthesizing, like, over 2 decades of that community experience.
Built to trial and error.
Exactly. All the innovation, the workarounds, the problem-solving that went into keeping UO emulation alive.
Mm-hmm.
And it combines that hard-won knowledge with modern development practices, modern architecture.
Sure.
The core idea is to finally solve those persistent challenges in customization and accessibility, problems that existing projects, brilliant as they are, often couldn't fully crack because they relied on legacy code.
Right, the UO file dependency issue.
Precisely. So it's truly about giving you, the user, unprecedented control, friction-free control over your digital world.
So you can build and share that persistent multiplayer thing without needing to be like a pro dev or some reverse engineering genius.
That's the dream, making it accessible.
And that promise, that control and ease of creation, that really is the beating heart of Black Box's vision, isn't it?
It absolutely is. At its core, what we're talking about is a standalone, open-source game development framework.
Standalone being key.
Critically standalone,
Yeah.
specifically engineered for these 2D isometric worlds.
Okay.
Its main goal, the thing driving it, is empowering users like you with full customization.
And not just tweaking settings.
No. This isn't about downloading someone else's server and changing spawn rates. We mean the freedom to build a unique world your way.
From scratch.
From the ground up. Designing its rules, its economy, its creatures, its magic, its entire lore.
Right.
You define how crafting works, how combat unfolds.
Player housing interactions.
Exactly. All tailored precisely to your imagination.
That's powerful stuff.
And the key differentiator here is, well, it's monumental. A real game changer for accessibility.
Which is?
Black Box is built entirely from the ground up to eliminate any dependency on legacy Ultima Online files.
Ah, there it is again. That's huge.
It's a massive leap
Mhm.
because it frees creators from those proprietary constraints that, historically tied down even the most ambitious community projects.
Right. For years, if you wanted to make custom UO stuff, you were always working around or even trying to reverse engineer those original ancient assets.
It was like, yeah, trying to add a modern extension onto a historical building without touching its fragile old foundation.
Okay, I get that analogy.
By cutting that reliance, Black Box just opens the door to truly independent creation. No baggage.
And that fits with their KISS philosophy. Right. Keep it simple, stupid.
Exactly. But, in the best way, it's not about dumbing things down. It's about smart simplicity.
Lowering the barrier to entry.
Absolutely crucial for that. It means intuitive file structures, simple data formats like JSON or XML, stuff you can open in Notepad, basically.
Okay.
And eventually, the plan for custom editors. That makes it way easier for both novices and seasoned devs to just jump in and start building.
Without getting totally bogged down in technical weeds.
Precisely. It directly targets that average user, removing a lot of the complex technical hurdles that used to guard the gates of online world creation.
So, okay, it's building something new, independent, but it's not totally ignoring its roots. It's inspired by Ultima Online.
Heavily inspired, you can't escape that legacy, and they don't want to.
So why UO specifically if they're aiming for independence?
Well, Black Box draws a lot from UO's classic mechanics, things like its deep skill system, practice makes perfect.
Right, use-based skill,
It's open world exploration, that feeling of a truly player-driven economy.
which felt so alive back then.
Exactly. But maybe even more than mechanics, it inherits UO's legendary community spirit, where players built the narratives, shared resources,
And the look.
and visually, yeah, the project explicitly aims to replicate that charm, that distinct feel of UO's 2D isometric art style.
Which is interesting. Choosing that specific art style,
Yeah.
it feels very deliberate.
Oh, it's absolutely deliberate. And strategic, not just nostalgia. Black Box prioritizes simple, tile-based graphics.
Okay, why is that strategic?
Well, it's not just style, it's profoundly practical. It ensures graphics are easy to create, easy to import, easy to modify.
So accessibility again,
Exactly. Think about it. By consciously avoiding the complexity of high-res 3D models, rigging huge texture files.
which requires specialized skills and software.
Right. Black Box ensures that almost anyone, not just pro artists, can contribute visual assets. It dramatically lowers the barrier for content creation.
So, like, someone passionate about their world, maybe not a great artist, could still make custom furniture or monster sprites with simple tools.
That's the idea, empowering the community directly. This focus on simple assets plus being open source, it fosters that dynamic community ecosystem.
Like the resource sharing you see in the UO emulation scene.
Exactly like that, but hopefully without the architectural headaches or the proprietary chains holding things back.
That's a really strong point about community and removing friction.
Yeah.
And to really get Black Box's innovation, we probably need to understand the scene it came from,
Definitely. Looking at its predecessors helps.
like Serve UO and Classic UO.
Yeah.
Serve UO, for instance, that's a big server-side emulation project, right?
Huge and incredibly active. Their community is massive. Just look at their forums, tons of shared resources, tutorials, active members, loads of player-run servers or shards.
You mentioned some names. The Crossroads Mundane's Legacy.
Yeah, or Insane UO Endless Journey. These are places where players are building real communities, trading, questing, making stories.
And the Serve UO community even develops tools, right? Like custom animation guides or installers.
Oh yeah, they're incredibly ingenious at overcoming the technical hurdles they face. It's a testament to their dedication.
And Classic UO, that's more client-side.
Right, an open source client implementation, trying to provide a modern, stable way to connect to those emulator servers.
So these projects, they've been fundamental in keeping UO alive for, what, 20-plus years?
Absolutely. Engineering marvels, really. Given the constraints, they are foundational.
But there are constraints.
There are. Black Box acknowledges their brilliance, but also that they often grapple with inherent limits. They're built on and kind of stuck with dated code bases.
Which are hard to modernize.
Exceptionally hard without breaking things. And more importantly for this discussion, they often force creators through these customization hoops.
Customization hoops, like jumping through actual hoops.
And metaphorically, yeah. Complex workarounds,
Yeah.
convoluted processes, sometimes even needing to reverse engineer binary data.
Just to add or change something.
Exactly, because they're always tied back to or trying to interface with those original proprietary UO files.
So like adding a new spell might mean figuring out a 20-year-old animation file format first.
Precisely. And then writing complex wrapper code. That's a customization hoop. It's friction.
Right. And those hoops sound like they could be a real labyrinth for someone wanting to build something truly unique.
They absolutely can be. A major barrier.
And that's exactly where Black Box comes in. offering a solution.
That's where it shines. A breath of fresh air, really. By completely removing that legacy dependency, no more original UO files, no outdated formats.
It offers a modern, flexible alternative.
Incredibly flexible. It liberates creators from those past constraints. Build without being hindered by 20-year-old file formats, archaic protocols, code never meant to be extended.
It's taking the best parts of that 20 years of emulator experience
The community spirit, the knowledge of what players want, the dedication.
and moving it forward into something truly independent, extensible, open source.
It's a leap from just modification to genuine creation.
Which brings us back to that grand promise, right? Democratizing the MMO experience for the average user.
Yes, that core promise is simple, but so powerful. Build your world, your way, and share it easily with friends.
Making creation accessible, not just playing.
Exactly. For too long, making a persistent, custom online world one friends could join that was just for big studios or a few hyper-specialized hobbyists.
People who spent years mastering complex, often undocumented systems.
Right. Blackbox wants to fundamentally shift that paradigm.
Okay, so how does that KISS design and the open source nature specifically help the average user? The person with the vision, but maybe not the deep tech skills.
It means fewer technical hurdles. Way fewer. Instead of fighting arcane code, you get more creative freedom.
So if I wanted a world where crafting depends on, I don't know, star alignments,
Or where a certain monster only spawns in specific weather and acts intelligently, Blackbox wants to make that level of detail accessible to you.
without making me reverse engineer old files or write tons of code.
That's the goal. Empowering your vision plain and simple, letting imagination translate directly into a playable experience. All right, so let's peek under the hood a bit, see how Blackbox actually works, starting with its foundation, the engine choice.
Which is monogame.
Right, and they chose Monogame for very specific reasons. First, it gives developers incredible fine-grained control over the game logic.
Which is critical if you want deep customization.
Absolutely. Blackbox isn't stuck with some big engine's opinion on how things should work. You define that.
Okay, control. What else?
Second, cross-platform potential. Big deal. Your world could run on Windows, Linux, maybe others, broader reach, bigger community.
Makes sense.
And third, robust 2D tooling, which perfectly fits their focus on that isometric art style we talked about. Easy to create, easy to use.
So it's not like using Unity or Unreal, which are huge and maybe have lots of 3D stuff you don't need.
Exactly. Monogame gives them the essential building blocks. They can build their specialized systems on top, tailor-made for these kinds of worlds, without all the overhead.
And there was something about the monogame author's philosophy.
Yeah, that's interesting. The source mentioned the author wanted a middle ground between writing a whole engine from absolute scratch, which is a massive job, usually for big studios, and being too restricted by larger platforms like Unity, which might force certain ways of doing things.
Ah, so monogame hit that sweet spot.
Hmm.
Flexibility without reinventing every single wheel.
Precisely, like getting a high-quality toolkit instead of a raw block of steel or lockdown machine.
And they're actually using it practically. It's not just theory.
No, the current features are explicitly based on the Building 2D Games with Monogame tutorial. It shows a solid, tested foundation using well-understood principles. It's practical application.
Okay, so foundation is monogame.
Right.
What about the core architecture?
Yeah.
Server, client.
Right, it's that classic model, but optimized for their goals. Customization, scalability. Think of the server as the master brain of your world.
Running the show.
Totally. Built with C# and, crucially, using asynchronous networking.
Async. Can you simplify that?
Yeah. Imagine a busy kitchen. If the chef waited for one dish to be completely done before starting the next, everything slows down.
Right.
Async networking is like having multiple chefs working at once, juggling tasks efficiently. For Blackbox, it means the server can handle potentially hundreds, maybe thousands of players doing stuff simultaneously.
Moving, fighting, crafting.
All at once, without that horrible lag you used to get in older games.
Okay, got it. Efficient multitasking.
Exactly. Its main job is managing the entire world state, tracking where everything is, players, NPCs, items, what they're doing, every change.
And telling everyone else.
Right. Handles multi-client communication, gives everything unique IDs, and constantly broadcasts real-time updates. That constant flow ensures seamless sync. Everyone sees the same world at the same time. cohesive experience.
All right, so that's the server brain. Then there's the client. That's what I interact with.
Exactly. That's what you, the player or the world builder, see and use directly. Also built with Monogame.
Leveraging its strengths.
Yep. It handles all the visuals, rendering the tile maps for your landscapes, dungeons, towns, drawing all the sprites, characters, monsters, items, making movement look smooth and responsive, capturing that isometric feel.
Input 2, keyboard, mouse.
All user input keyboard, mouse, gamepad. Translates your actions into game commands and handles audio sound effects, background music, immersion.
You mentioned something about the UI, GUM UI.
Yeah, that's exciting. It's not just basic menus. It means you can design and customize your entire game interface.
Seriously. Like, I could have a health bar shaped like a dragon.
Potentially, yeah. Or an inventory screen, like an old scroll.
Yeah.
GUM UI allows for highly customizable menus and interactions. You control the look and feel, matching your world's unique style.
That's really cool. And it still supports the classic isometric view.
Oh yeah, natively supports that classic isometric projection. Gotta have that authentic charm.
Okay, architecture makes sense. Now, you mentioned modularity, the plug-and-play systems. That sounds like where the real customization kicks in.
This is, I think, one of the most brilliant and truly empowering parts of Blackbox, where it really shines and stands apart.
How does it work?
Core game systems, crafting, combat, skills, whatever, they aren't hard-coded rigidly into the engine. Instead, they're neatly encapsulated in separate dynamic link libraries. DLLs.
Like little independent modules.
Exactly. Think Lego blocks or apps on your phone. Each one does a specific job.
And the engine.
The core engine dynamically loads these DLLs when it runs. This is revolutionary because the engine doesn't start with a fixed idea of combat. It waits for you to tell it by loading your chosen combat DLL.
Whoa. Okay, that is a huge deal for user empowerment.
Right. It's difficult to overstate how significant this is.
So because they're separate DLLs, I, the user, can just swap out the default one.
Easily. Swap them out for custom ones you made or ones someone else in the community made.
So that astrological crafting system I joked about.
If someone builds that system into a DLL, you just drop it in. Want combat where spells bounce off certain armor? Find or make the DLL for that, swap it in.
That directly enables that ServUO style resource sharing you mentioned, but
Yeah.
like supercharged.
Exactly. People can genuinely share, enhance, maybe even sell their bespoke game mechanics. Others can easily implement complex new features without touching the core engine code.
It's moving beyond modding into like a collaborative marketplace for gameplay itself.
That's a great way to put it, a creative marketplace for game systems.
Okay, so architecture modularity.
Yeah.
What about just basic usability? File structures, making assets.
Yeah, they've thought about accessibility there too. It's not just the high-level stuff. World data, entity definitions, system configs. They aren't buried in weird binary formats. Simple, human-readable JSON or XML files.
Okay, like text files.
Basically, yeah.
Right.
And that's a deliberate design choice. Makes them inherently easy for users to read, understand, and modify, even without coding experience.
So I could open a file and see how my world is built or how an item works.
Yep. Tweak parameters, add simple new content, all without needing special tools or compilers. Very approachable for basic customization.
And asset creation. We touched on the simple isometric style helping there.
Right. That's a major win for the average user. Democratizing the art side. No need for high-end 3D software rigging knowledge.
Just basic pixel art tools could potentially work.
Huh.
For custom armor or monsters?
Potentially, yes. Especially for simpler stuff. And remember, the roadmap includes planned custom editors, specifically designed to help non-artists contribute.
Tools with visual interfaces.
Exactly. Imagine a tool where you drag and drop tiles to build maps, fill out simple forms to define items, create basic NPC behaviors without touching code.
That level of accessibility really does open it up to anyone with an idea.
That's the aim, regardless of artistic or technical skill.
So is any of this actually built yet? Or is it all just plans and concepts?
No, it's important to clarify this isn't just theory. Blackbox is past the initial concept stage. It has a solid functional foundation already.
Built on that monogame tutorial stuff.
Yeah, leveraging those proven practices, they've already implemented several key features. Server-client connection with multi-client sync is working. Multiple players can be in the same world interacting. Tilemap rendering for building the worlds. Sprite-based entities with smooth movement. Sound effects and background music are in. And that GUM UI framework for custom menus is operational.
Okay, so it's not just like a basic Snake game example.
Definitely not. They've applied and adapted those core features to the much more complex context of a customizable, persistent multiplayer world.
It's a proof of concept.
A living proof of concept shows these elements work together for the kind of open-ended, modifiable online experience they envision. The foundation is laid. It's tangible. Now, of course, building something this ambitious, especially challenging old norms, it comes with big challenges.
Naturally, nothing this potentially disruptive is easy.
But what's compelling is that Blackbox seems to have clear, thoughtful solutions. The biggest hurdle, as we keep saying, was shedding that dependency on legacy UO files.
The core problem.
Right. And their solution isn't trying to painfully adapt old stuff. It's a complete reimagining. Building core mechanics, combat, skills, items from scratch, generic, customizable, extensible, right within Monogame.
Ensuring true independence. No technical debt from the past.
Exactly.
Okay, what other challenges? Scalability must be huge for multiplayer.
Critical. Especially with multi-client sync and modular systems potentially straining things.
How do they tackle that?
Robust asynchronous networking, that efficient server tech we talked about, handles many connections without getting bogged down.
Well,
And the dynamic loading of lightweight system DLLs, remember the plug-and-plug modules? Because they're small, self-contained, loaded only when needed.
they minimize the performance hit.
Right. Helps avoid lag spikes, even with lots of custom systems running in a busy world. Smart design choice.
Then there's asset creation for non-artists.
Yep. The simple isometric style helps a lot, reduces complexity. But the long-term solution is those planned custom editors.
Tools specifically for non-artists.
Crucial, not just nice to have. Fundamental for making asset creation truly accessible. Intuitive interfaces for map design, item definition, basic NPC setup, without code or complex art software.
Ensuring a steady flow of community content.
That's the idea. And finally, community adoption. Always key for open source.
How do they encourage that?
Through the philosophy itself. The KISS design, the open source sharing commitment, directly mirroring Servio's successful community model, aiming to replicate and enhance that ecosystem of sharing tools, systems, assets, ideas, making collaboration the default.
Okay, so challenges identified, solutions in place or planned. What about the roadmap? What's actually next?
Short term, the focus is implementing those default plug-and-play systems. Basic skills, crafting, combat, right out of the box.
So people have a starting point.
Exactly. Ready for customization or replacement. Also, expanding the default asset library, more items, more NPCs, give builders a solid starting palette.
Makes sense. Midterm.
Midterm gets really exciting for the user as creator, developing a basic custom editor for world and entity editing.
The visual tool.
The visual tool, allowing you to intuitively lay out dungeons, place towns, define spawns, sculpt landscapes without code, literally painting your world.
That's huge.
And integrating initial AI for NPC behavior,
Fair.
making the world feel more alive. NPCs start moving, reacting, interacting believably.
And long term. The big vision.
Ambitious stuff. Enhancing multiplayer features, guilds, trade systems, more complex social interactions.
Beyond just seeing each other move.
Right, building real social structures, also supporting cross-platform deployment, Windows, Linux, maybe Mac OS, reach more people.
And nurturing the community.
Absolutely core. Cultivate and grow that community modding ecosystem. Make it self-sustaining, driven by user passion, keeping Blackbox evolving constantly.
So those future features. You mentioned advanced AI.
Yeah, going beyond basic stuff. Intelligent NPCs with sophisticated pathfinding, daily routines, dynamic interactions, using monogame shaders and animations for a richer, more believable life.
Not just static quest givers.
No, populating your world with dynamic, interactive beings that contribute to your narrative.
And those user-friendly custom editors are central.
Absolutely central. Not just basic tools, but meticulously designed for intuitive world design, entity creation, system config. Seamlessly built in or standalone.
A game changer for someone with an idea, but maybe not the coding background.
Completely. Removing technical barriers, letting pure creativity flow.
And finally, robust community tools to tie it all together.
Essential for the vision. Actively encouraging user mods and docs. Using platforms like GitHub or itch.io for easy sharing and discovery.
Building the whole environment, not just the engine.
Exactly. Making sharing and collaboration simple, rewarding, fostering that vibrant ecosystem, connecting the bigger picture. Blackbox is essentially saying,
What?
you don't need to be a pro dev or spend years learning code to build something incredible, something persistent, unique.
It's democratizing world creation.
Totally. Learning from communities like ServUO, iterating, removing the fiction, which raises that big question. What happens when these tools get into everyone's hands?
Right. Here's where it gets really interesting. Maybe a bit mind-bending. Think about those thousands of fan-made worlds, custom systems, communities that grew around UO. Despite all the limits, the hoops, the old code,
Yeah, amazing creativity against the odds.
Blackbox isn't just enabling that same spirit, it's streamlining it, making it easier, more flexible, future-proof.
Truly, for anyone with an idea for a world, regardless of technical skill.
Turning that dream of a persistent online place you control and share into a tangible, playable reality.
That's the potential.
So we've really explored how the Blackbox Game Engine project is trying to define a new frontier for customizable 2D gaming.
Yeah, blending that rich UO legacy with Monogame's flexibility and open source power.
It's fundamentally about giving you the power. Craft your dream worlds, share them easily, join this vibrant open source community building together.
Taking the best of what came before the passion, the community vision, pushing it forward, removing the friction, putting the tools right in your hands.
Which leads to that final thought.
So what does this all mean for the future of user-generated content in gaming? Could Blackbox really kick off an era where anyone, coder or not, can design, populate, manage their own persistent online experiences?
Turning every passionate gamer, every storyteller, into a potential world builder.
What kind of unique worlds, what amazing stories, what unexpected adventures will you imagine and create now that the tools are becoming this accessible?
And maybe what new kinds of digital communities might emerge when those barriers to creation truly fall for everyone. Something to think about.